Alright guys, let's move on to 1993's Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday, directed by Adam Marcus, and we got Stephen Williams in here as the great Creighton Duke. And we got Greg Nicotero and Rob Kurtzman and Berger, that whole effects team in here, and it shows. Like, there is some great gore in this movie. This movie, I haven't seen this, like I said, in like 5 or 6 years. And this is by far my least watched of this whole franchise. So I didn't remember like most of this, like going into this rewatch. And this is a terrible Friday the 13th movie. Like, absolutely terrible. But it's not a terrible movie. Like, it's really not. Like, it's shot very well. There's some great gore effects in here. Like, this is a very good, like, body horror, like, body jumping, whatever the fuck you want to call it, movie. Like, this is kind of entertaining. Like, I actually was entertained watching this. And like I said, I didn't remember hardly anything from this. So just seeing some good stuff on the screen, despite my memories of this being just a terrible movie all around, was a nice little surprise. And like I always say, I always try to pick out any good things from a bad movie or a terrible movie, or anything that redeems it. So we got some stuff in here. They don't even try to explain how Jason's back in this movie. Like, after that whole shit with the sewage, like melting him into a child at the end of 8, they don't even attempt at an explanation for why Jason's alive again. Like, they just said, there's no fucking way we can think of anything to bring him back from that. So let's just pretend it never happened, and Jason's just alive again, and that's it. And then that entire sting operation at the beginning, I mean, why not at this point? But, like, it's all ridiculous. Like, you have this undercover agent, right, playing this camp counselor, and she goes into the bathroom and she turns the tub on, she strips down naked, she's about to get in the tub, the lights go out, she even gets stabbed by Jason, or cut at least. All of that for what? Just for the sting operation? For all the fucking agents and everything to pull their guns and shine the lights on Jason? Like, why have her do any of that? Like, why couldn't she just hang out in that cabin until Jason showed up? And then just ran to the spot where all the agents are, and then boom, Bob's your uncle. You're done. Nope. Like, that was all just for the audience. For us to see a naked chick on screen as soon as possible, and then just have us think that this is going one direction, and then just completely have it go another direction. Like, none of that sting operation makes sense at all. Like, for that girl to do any of the things that she's doing, like, doesn't make any sense. And, like, to put her in that situation where you know this guy, where you know Jason, this crazy killer, who's, like, unstoppable, could, like, crush her face in, like, 2 seconds. Like, a million things could have went wrong between her running out of that cabin and getting to where all the fucking agents are and blowing them up. I don't know. Why not? Like I said, at this point in the series, why not with anything, basically? And I love Creighton Duke's character in this. Like, I really enjoyed seeing him on screen. He plays a fucking weird character, man. Like, he's like this bounty hunter, but he's like a fucking sadist at the same time. Like, I love the coroner in the very beginning. Like, just seeing the whole autopsy of Jason. Cool. Not something you see in any of these movies, so it's a nice little touch. And I'm for any type of franchise, like in a new entry in the franchise, trying something completely new and trying something different. Like, why not? Go for broke. Throw whatever ideas you got there, and if they don't all land, at least you tried something different. But like I said, for a Friday movie, this is terrible. But as just a general horror movie, if you just took Jason out and just, like, kind of got rid of the whole voorhees, like, storyline and threw something else in there, just some family descendants and stuff and ancestry, and that they have to kill this demon that body hops and stuff, you got a pretty good, entertaining body horror movie. Like, I really was surprised, like I said. And I love his line, the coroner, of, in my professional opinion, this guy's deader than dead. Like, or he's deader than shit, or something like that. That's fucking funny. Then he ends up eating his heart, which we find out is how Jason, the real Jason Voorhees, is not even in his body, that his body's just a vessel, and that his heart transfers between people. I mean, it's so out there, like, this whole script. Like, whoever thought this was a good idea for a Friday the 13th movie? I don't know, man. Like, I'll give it this. It's better than, like, the early concept script for this movie, which was like Jason goes to LA and he was supposed to go to Los Angeles, and there was supposed to be like two rival gangs fighting each other, and then like when Jason shows up they have to like band together as one and like destroy Jason. Dude, it beats that idea. So fucking good thing they didn't go down that direction, even though I'm sure that would have been hysterical as shit to see that. Kind of like Leprechaun in the Hood and Back to the Hood, like something like that. Like, and no, not all gang members are black. A lot of them are Hispanic also. So Kane Hodder is playing Jason in this, which the title of this movie should be just Jason appears and then goes on an hour vacation and then comes back. The final Friday where Jason actually gave a fuck. That should be the title of this movie, because he is not here at all. But Kane Hodder, we have him playing the hospital guard as a little, I don't want to say cameo, but like him playing another role in this, which is cool to see. And him just cracking fun at Jason and saying, that guy was a pussy anyway and everything. Like, funny stuff. And a lot of little meta humor thrown in here also, like just like with part 6. But part 6 is a little too comedic for me. We get Jason's father's name finally in this, and Elias Voorhees. It's got a nice little ring to it. And we have 83 confirmed kills for Jason. Now, I didn't go through all the fucking movies and all the kills and shit, but it sounds about right. Sounds pretty close. Then Creighton Duke's whole line of with the interview with the reporter guy, and he's saying that he wants 500 grand for the bounty for Jason Voorhees, and that for 500 grand you can keep the mask, the machete, the whole damn thing. Nice little callback to Jaws with Quint's line of you can keep the head, the tail, the whole damn thing. That's a cool little reference. Haven't seen Jaws in forever. I'm surprised I even picked up on that. Jason burgers and Jason fingers for french fries. Again, why not? Like, that whole diner fucking capitalizing on Jason and everything. Funny. I would love to have a Jason burger. And the whole thing of her like showing the son how to make the hockey mask out of the patties, and like taking the scraps from the eyes and the holes and stuff and saying that's why we have 2-for-1 burgers, because the rest of those scraps will make another burger. Like, that shit happens all the time in the restaurant industry. I used to work in restaurants for a decent amount of time. That shit happens all the time. They fucking put deals out there and they're just using scraps from leftover shit, and fucking that's how they're making their money. There's no deal. Just like when you go to a fucking retail store and there's like 20% off everything here, and it's like you look at the price tag and it's like $29.99. But before that, it was fucking $60, and now with the discount, it's back to what it would have been. Like, they do that shit all the time. Fucking people think they're getting deals for some reason. The girl in the plaid shirt with the other couple that goes camping in Crystal Lake, one of the cutest girls in this franchise, and they kill her off like 30 minutes into the movie. That's a shame. She is one hell of a cute girl, and then she's just slashed and she's dead. Then the other couple that are fucking in the tent right before they start to fuck, this guy says, "You ready for Tony the Wonder Llama?" Now, I've never understood guys who name their dicks, but Tony the Wonder Llama, it's got to be one of the greatest names for a fucking penis ever. Come on. Tony the Wonder Llama. You can't make this shit up. Like, you can. They did for this movie. But in real life, if you met someone who called his dick Tony the fucking Wonder Llama, you just gotta bow and give some respect. Like, that is one fucking out there bold name to name your penis. I don't know. Never understood that whole thing. Then the whole thing with the condom and stuff. And when you see this in so many movies with this bullshit. Fucking he's holding the condom. I hate these things. Yeah, because it's so hard just to tear a package and just roll something on your dick. It's so fucking hard, man. Like, so many guys in real life and in movies use that shit all the time. Oh, I can't stand these things. They're so hard to get on. Come on. Like, really? And, like, girls fall for that? I hope any female viewers that watch this are not that stupid. I have faith. You're not. Like, fucking, oh, I can't tear this fucking wrapper apart. Like, get the fuck out of here. And then the girl gets stabbed right through the tent, through her chest, and the blood's all over the guy and stuff. Looks cool, and it's cool kind of how, like, he stabs her and then, like, goes up with it. Like, I wish we would have seen, like, her body, like, split, like, from her chest upwards or something like that. That would have been really cool. But it is what it is. It's cool how it is. And then what the fuck is the entire scene of tying the cop down naked in order for Coroner Jason to transfer himself into him? Like, this is Jason. This is supposed to be Jason. Like, no matter what body he's in, it's his heart or his worm, whatever the fuck you want to call it. This is Jason. When has Jason ever took the time to strip someone down naked and strap them to a table? And, like, that whole scene is just absolutely bonkers, man. Like, what the fuck did I watch with that? Like, no sense at all. Like, that's just insane. Like, that whole scene. And then he transfers Jason into Cop Jason. And then, kind of cool, you can see Jason in the reflections in the mirror and stuff like that. I mean, they tried getting Jason in here, I guess, as much as they possibly could. Well, as much as they possibly could would have been having Jason in the movie for the entire fucking movie. So, but the premise that they went with here, I guess they tried throwing him in as much as they could. And the reflection, I mean, you only see it like 2 times. But at least he gets a little bit of screen time in this, because Jason's look in this isn't bad at all. Like, I really like Jason's look in this, and the few scenes that we get in it. Like, with his mask that's, like, sunken into his face now, and he's got, like, fucking, his head's like a sponge, fucking, like, SpongeBob on his head. Like, it's a cool look for Jason. And the way his mask looks, like, really, really nice looking. Which I wish we saw more of him. And the whole scene with Diana and Cop Jason is a really cool scene. Like, with him showing up and her shooting him in the head, like, point blank, and then him getting back up and trying to attack her and transfer the worm thing into her. Then Steven shows up and stabs him through the heart, and he falls through the window, and really cool scene. That whole scene I really enjoyed. So there's some good things in here. And then, like, with Creighton Duke, like I'm saying, like, he's like this world-renowned bounty hunter, and they say on the news report in the beginning that he's helped bring down like 5 or 6 like notorious serial killers. So this is like a go-to guy to like solve serial killings and stuff like that. But he gets off on breaking Steven's fingers to give information about Jason. Like, what is all that about it? Like, that makes no sense at all. Like, what is his reasoning for this? Like, this is going to cost you a price. I don't think you can afford to pay it. Give me your hand. And he fucking puts his hand through the bars and he just breaks his finger and tells him a little bit of information. And then again, oh, that's going to cost more. And give me your hand again. And he breaks his other finger. Like, this guy's just a fucking masochist. Like, he wants Jason dead more than anyone in this movie. He keeps saying how he wants him to go to hell and he's the only one who knows how to do it and stuff. Wouldn't he just want to willfully give this information to this guy, knowing that he's the father of the child of Jessica, who's like the last remaining descendant besides her baby of the Voorhees family? Like, why with the whole finger breaking thing? Like, that's fucking stupid. Like, it makes no sense at all. And then, yeah, so Jessica and her baby, the only relatives of the Voorhees left in the ancestry. And Diana apparently was Jason's sister, that we never heard about for 9 movies. I don't know. Then we get the Necronomicon in here, which I remember that, but all right, like, I'm on board. Like, for whatever they decided to throw into the rest of this movie, at this point, fucking whatever. Like, it's cool. Seeing the Necronomicon, always a good thing. So that's cool. Cop Jason transfers Jason into the Robert, the reporter guy, he did a good job actually. The guy who plays Robert, like, not really like in his like human form, but like him like running around as a psychopath as Jason, pretty good performance. Like, not too bad. And then there's great effects on the cop after he spits the worm Jason into Robert's mouth and transfers Jason's soul, or whatever the hell you want to call it, and he starts melting and his face is melting away, and then like it's like stretching, like, well, like awesome effects, like great practical effects. And again, we got fucking Nicotero and Kurtzman and Berger here doing the effects, which these guys, man, they've had some fucking career way before The Walking Dead. Like, that's where they really like blew up with like the main population and like casual horror fans. But I mean, they've done everything, man. Like, they fucking did Day of the Dead under Savini and Intruder, and worked on the Evil Dead movies, Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, and then it goes on and on what these guys have worked on. And amazing work every single time they work on a movie. Then we get a little call to Halloween, it's just past the Myers place. And we have Jason's place here also in this movie. So now Jason gets his place to come home, finally, to the Voorhees house that we never heard of. That you would think wouldn't even exist. Like, you'd think that place would have been torn down like decades ago after Pamela got fucking decapitated and the father's been gone. So, like, only because we get introduced to relatives of Jason and his ancestry in this movie. It's the only reason that house is still standing. Like, come on, let's be honest. Like, that's the only reason that house exists. And that we find out about it or hear anything about it at all is because of the premise of this movie. Otherwise, that house would have been torched down or fucking vandalized to the point of fucking just condemning it and demolishing it. Like, absolutely. Then that whole fight scene with Steven and his cop friend, what a stupid fight scene. Like, I was looking at it, I was just laughing hysterically through all of it. Like, it's such a bad fight scene. Like, he fucking runs and like dives into the cop and knocks him over the hood of the car, and he's like, oh shit, I'm sorry. And then like they start fucking like just like wrestling with each other. They're not even like hitting each other. They're just like rolling around in the dirt. And then like he's like, I got a gun, and the other one's like, well, I got a gun, and they're pointing the guns at each other. It's funny, but it's such a dumb fight scene. I don't know. Then I love when is he the sheriff? I don't know. There's a lot of cops in this movie. I think it's the sheriff. When he walks up and says, stop right there, when Robert Jason is choking out Jessica, and he just palms him in the face and knocks him out. Dude, I cracked up hysterically laughing when that happened. Like, I don't know what it was. Just like the quick way that he palms him in the face and he just hits the ground. I was dying laughing. Like, definitely got some laughs out of this movie. For sure. Then knocking out the diner owner, the woman who owns the diner, when Jessica shows up for the baby and everything. And she pulls the gun on Jessica and Steven and says, like, you're not coming back and getting this baby, and you're with a wanted fugitive and stuff. And she just hits the woman in the face, and like just the way like her face turns and then like hits the ground. Like, I was laughing during that too, man. This movie, some funny shit. And then with Robert Jason breaking that dude's hand, like, that looks really cool too. Like, really cool effect when he just like breaks his wrist and the bone comes sticking out. Awesome stuff. Like, looks really cool. And then Robert Jason takes the guy and puts him in the deep fryer upside down. And then the diner lady comes around again and say, get your fucking hands off him. And he just elbows her in the mouth so hard that her mouth like caves in. Like, that looks cool too. Like, there's some great stuff in this movie, like I said. But if this wasn't a Friday the 13th movie, I feel like this would be a much more well-liked movie. Or at least more understood. As a Friday movie, it's just bad. Like, but as a movie, like I keep saying, it's pretty good. not like anything great or anything like that, but just like something to just throw on and just like have a laugh or two and just watch this craziness unfold in front of your eyes. Good for that. Then Duke steals the baby. Again, like, what kind of bounty hunter is this? Like, this guy's breaking people's fingers in jail to give them information that, like, is very pertinent to them. Like, so they find out how to kill Jason, which is what this bounty hunter wants the whole time. And then now he kidnaps the baby and takes the baby to the voorhees house. Like, what type of fucking bounty hunter is this? Like, he's no dog, the bounty hunter. I am the dog, the big bad dog. I fucking love that. Jason Worm breaking and crawling out of the cop's neck. Awesome. Again, the effects are very, very good in this. And after the last few films of not having a lot of on-screen kills or practical effects or gore or anything like that, this was kind of refreshing. Like, it really was. Like, seeing the fucking worm after Steven, like, hits the guy in the neck with the machete, and then his head, like, kind of is decapitated, but it's still, like, hanging on that side. And then the worm thing, like, crawls out of his neck, and the mouth is still moving, like, on his head and everything. Really cool. Like, looks really, really good. Like, can't praise G&B effects enough with this. And then, like, that thing... that worm, it crawled up Diana's pussy, right? Like her corpse in the basement. Which is another cool callback or homage. We get Fluffy's crate from Creepshow, which I just mentioned in the last video about doing those two. Awesome. Like, the crate is my favorite, like, short in an anthology film. Like, by far. Just something about that whole skit. It's not really a skit, but that whole bit of the crate is just so good. Like, just the whole thing with Fluffy, and I'll save this all for Creepshow. But yeah, we get his crate down there, which we also see in Bride of Chucky, along with Myers' mask and Jason's mask and Freddy's glove, Leatherface's chainsaw, which I said in that video for Bride of Chucky. I don't know how all that shit ended up in one evidence locker, like wherever the hell they were. But nice little homages there. And Duke gets crushed in half, or like close to it, and he says, this is the day you're going to hell, and he fucking dies. Which, goodbye Duke. He's a cool character though, like I said. He definitely gives a decent performance in this. Then we get a Kandarian dagger, basically. This is what kills Jason. I don't know. Like, we already got the Necronomicon, so why not throw in the Kandarian dagger also? So that's supposedly what makes Jason go to hell. And the whole fight between Jason and Steven outside the house before Jessica stabs Jason with the Kandarian dagger. How weak did Jason get in this movie? Like, this is the guy who we've seen crush people's faces with, like, no effort at all. And just, like, ripping someone's arm out and tossing them into a tree. And even having the artistic ability for their face to make a smiley face out of blood on the tree. And this guy is putting up almost no fight to Jason. And he doesn't kill this guy, like, instantly. Like, he just is, I don't know, something about his whole, like, attempted murder of Steven at the end here. He just comes across as weak, man. Like, maybe Kane Hodder was right at the beginning of this in his hospital security guard role of saying, guy was just a pussy. Maybe he exploded and his heart and worm being transferred around made him a weaker Jason. Because he should have snapped Steven in half, like, within, like, 20 seconds. Like, not even that long. And then he gets stabbed with the Kandarian dagger and he goes to hell, and no more Jason Voorhees forever. And then Jess and Steven literally walk into the sunset together, which is, I don't know, at this point, like I said. And then we have another dog survivor. We have a dog earlier in this, and he shows up at the end, surviving another Friday movie. So we're 3 for 1, right? With dogs, 3 for 1 surviving. Unless we count Muffin as alive, which I said in the last video. We don't know if he's alive or not with that whole dream sequence. So, 3 for 1's not bad. If this was a Halloween movie, you'd have 2 dead dogs just in the first one. So, The dogs fare a lot better in the Friday series than they do in the Halloween series. And then Jason's mask gets brought to hell by Freddy's glove. So he finally shows up. Sort of. Like Kane Hodder actually played the arm that comes out and as Freddy's glove and pulls the mask under, which I don't know why the mask is even there. Like, we see that hole that he gets sucked into hell and he's completely brought down into hell. Like, that's what we're told. Like, that's what's implied, is he's dragged to hell. But then his mask just rises back up again. For what? Like, just for Freddy's claw hand to grab it and bring it down to hell. That's why, right? Right. Like, that's the only reason that mask came back out of the ground. And this sets up Freddy versus Jason, the next film in this. Oh wait, he goes to space next? Dude, like what I was saying, after everything in this franchise, just making something a little different with this movie makes it a little refreshing. All in all, not a good Friday movie. Decent movie otherwise. A lot better than I remember. Like, a lot better than I remember. Like, I just remember this being absolute dog shit. And I was pretty surprised on this rewatch, which is why I love rewatching movies. Because I've had movies that I watch and absolutely love the first time. And then I'll rewatch it again and I'm not too keen on that like I thought I was. Or I'll rewatch something I thought was absolutely terrible and I'll get a lot out of it the second time or third rewatch or whatever. Like, awesome that you can get different experiences out of when you're watching a movie, how old you are watching it, your mind state, all of that like factors in. And you can have a totally different experience with a movie being watched at some certain point in your life, at a certain age or whatever's going on in your life, and then revisit it later, 10 years later, 5 years later, when things are different and your mind state's in a different place and your life's in a different place, all of that. And then just being able to have a completely different viewing experience, which is one of the reasons I started the channel, was just to be able to rewatch a whole bunch of classic movies that I hold dear to me and explore other movies I haven't seen and everything. And loving it. And Jason goes to space next. I mean, it's the only logical place to go. So he's going to space next. And then we finally get Freddy vs. Jason, which I will never forget. I will never forgive fucking, what the hell's his name? The director. Is it Ronnie Yu? I want to say it's Ronnie Yu, who did Bride of Chucky. I will never forgive him for not casting Kane Hodder in Freddy vs. Jason. Like, never. Like, that was one of the biggest dick moves in film history. You have Kane Hodder, who's in these movies, like 4 of them in a row, and like the most well-known Jason at that point, the only one to appear in multiple movies, and basically was Jason during that time. And he's been waiting since his first movie, since 7. Like, they were supposed to have Freddy vs. Jason was supposed to be Friday Part 7. He's been waiting since 7 through 8, through this movie, through Jason X, to be on screen fighting Freddy Krueger. And Ronnie Yu casts somebody else? Fuck you. Like, fuck you, Ronnie Yu. I'll always love Bride of Chucky. Thanks for bringing us that. But fuck you for Freddy vs. Jason with not bringing Kane Hodder back. But, alright, so Jason X, Freddy vs. Jason, and the reboot are all we have left. So, I'm going to probably save those for tomorrow or the next day. Creepshow 2. I was thinking of doing those, but now I'm really kind of in the mood to watch Halloween. After like going through the first 8 movies in this series and this one, but not so much this one, but like the first 8 that I grew up with and got me into the horror genre in the first place. Halloween was the first horror movie I ever saw. And that led to Friday the 13th in this whole series and everything, and then the Halloween sequel. So, in a nostalgic mood. So, might have Halloween up next, might have Creepshow and Creepshow 2 up next. All up in the air. Like I said in the last video, I had a plan. The plan's already being changed. And then I'll have Argento's last few films that I'm going to cover on his in the next few days too. And then we can finally have Found Footage Friday again for the first time in like 2 weeks, since I haven't been able to keep on schedule with anything. So a lot of cool stuff coming. And wherever you guys are from, good morning, good night. Hope everybody is safe and having a good day or night. And I will see you guys soon. Take care.